So I'm continuing my real estate journey, and I'm looking through a calculator, and I see that you put in the interest rates. So I figured that's easy enough. Now I just look on the app itself, it has interest rates, plug that in, and ta-da.
Okay, so yes and no. Yes and no is as follows. When you want to buy a building, you also have to assume that the rate you're getting today is not necessarily being quoted today as the rate you're going to close at. So I tell you automatically, when you see the rate and it says the rates could be 6% using your number, I would tell you to try to put an interest rate a little bit higher. In case between now and closing, it's a little bit higher. Does the deal still work? So this way, if it works, put in 6.25, put in 6.8. So at least you know you have room for your numbers if there's a little buffer. But I'll tell you where it's not as simple. Because you look further down the app, it says add financing, blended rates. You see that?
Blended, yeah.
Yeah. So this is how it works. When it comes to commercial real estate, it used to be a very simple deal. Someone bought a building for $10 million. They wrote a check for $25 million. Maybe they had a few partners. They all chipped in. And they bought the building. And the bank came, one bank, $7.5 million. Interest rate was done. This is what gets complicated today. Many times people, when it comes to commercial real estate, have sophisticated loans. They could sometimes have a first mortgage. Then they could have like a mezzanine. I'll tell you the mezzanine in a second. They got like a mezzanine. They got a second mortgage, like preferred equity. A bunch of different types of mortgages come together. So before I explain what it means, is that this calculator allows you. It's either simple. You looked at the rate sheet, 6%, put a buffer 6.25. Or you could say, no, I'm taking a mortgage for $7 million at 6.25. I'm taking a mezzanine mortgage, I'll explain in a second, for $7.5, for $500,000 of it. Now, in total debt, you have $7.5 million. I'm taking another $500,000 as preferred equity. Or a second. What's my blended rates? The calculator will calculate all those options and say, if this is at 6%, this is at 9%, this is at 12%, this is at 18%, what does it blend out to? A little piece at 18, a little bigger piece at it blends out to 6.85. So it's going to show you the numbers on a blended scale. So this calculator allows you to talk the normal talk and blend it at the same time. Because as far as you're concerned, bottom line is, for the total amount of money I'm borrowing, $9 million you can borrow sometimes, what is my interest rate for $9 million? And that's the blended rate, it figures it out there. So
Cool.
Yeah. So what is mezzanine? What are these things? Think of it as simple form. There's a first mortgage and a second mortgage, and like that. So break it down to two parts. There's preferred equity part and there's mezzanine second. So break it down. It's a little complicated, but it's complicated and easy at the same time. Think simple form. You want to borrow money. When you want to borrow money and a bank says I'm only willing to lend you $7 million, and you want to borrow $8 million, you might find someone who's going to say, someone will say, listen here, I'm willing to lend you like a second mortgage of $1 million with the first bank's approval. That's very simple to understand. Everyone understands the first mortgage and the second mortgage, right? They understand.
I got it.
However, no bank wants to have a second mortgage in commercial real estate. So they don't want to have a problem. You don't pay the second mortgagee, and then they're going to fight, try to foreclose, and the building was
So you're getting a second mortgage from a different bank.
yeah, or a private person at a higher rate. They want to be $7 million, and behind them they don't want any mortgages behind them.
Yeah.
So mezzanine, it's like you think if you go into a theater, you go to a stadium, there's the seats at the bottom, those are the box seats.
It's called mezzanine.
The mezzanine is this thing in the middle between the same thing. It's basically like a second mortgage, but the loan is not to the building, it's to the entity that's buying the building. So as far under the hood, that's a lot of legal gibberish.
Yeah.
Simply put, my first mortgage is $7 million. My second mortgage, mezzanine, is $1 million. What is preferred equity? Preferred equity is
Second, what does that have? Why is the stadium called mezzanine? What's the connection?
no, it's the other way around. The mezzanine at the bottom, and then the up. There's a gap, a lip in the middle of seats that are somewhere in between. That's called a mezzanine level.
Got it.
Like a middle. Like maybe it's a fancy way to. I'm sure it has terminology, but that's the idea. The concept comes from there. It's not above and it's not below. It's somewhere like a hybrid somewhere in the middle. So now you have a mezzanine loan. So that's you have these loans. The third part, which is very popular, is called preferred equity. Sometimes you have to go out and raise $2 million
From your LPs.
from your LPs, and very simple. Every LP puts up a certain amount of money, even split. Somebody that comes to you and says, you know something? Instead of taking me as an equity partner, I'll tell you what. I'm willing to give you like a first position loan against the equity. So you need to raise $2 million? I'll give you $1 million. This is what I want. I want my money out first from all the other partners. And after a certain point, once I make a certain amount of money, I'm gone. So when an owner thinks it's a home run deal, he'd rather that. He gets $8 million from the bank, $1 million in preferred equity, and he goes to his LPs. Listen here, it's the riskiest piece, but this is such an amazing deal. When we sell it for $18 million and we have $8 million profit, we give the first guy $1 million guy so whatever, double his money, and we split all the rest of it. That's how these deals come down. So simple when you want to take a loan. Bottom line is, how much is your monthly payment that you're gonna have to make every single month? And if you have a simple loan, great. If you have a complicated loan, a bunch of different levels, the calculator makes it very easy for you.
Got it. So my first mortgage was a regular mortgage from a bank. I can take a second mortgage either from a different bank, which is
With
complicated.
approval
From the first
with the private lender. So yeah.
And then so I could do the mezzanine, which makes it easier for them to approve it. And then for the last thing, I do preferred equity, which is to go to an LP, and then
Potentially,
high rate also.
between me and you, most deals end up going simple. There's equity and there's debt. But in case it's not, the app is built for you to do that.
Awesome, thank you.